Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going to be diving into the world of AI.
Okay.
Specifically, we're going to be looking at a new model called DeepSeek.
Great.
And it's been making a lot of headlines lately.
Yeah.
And it's been shaking things up in a big way.
Mm-hmm.
You guys sent us a bunch of articles.
Oh.
You even sent us a YouTube video about it.
Oh, wow.
Everybody's buzzing about its impact.
That's right. Yeah, DeepSeek is definitely causing a stir.
Yeah.
And particularly, I think, because it's coming out of China.
Right?
It has really sent some shockwaves through the U.S. tech market.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking $1 trillion drop in stock values.
$1 trillion.
Yeah.
That's an insane amount of money.
It's a hard number to even really fathom.
Yeah. What exactly is DeepSeek and why is it causing such a panic?
Well, DeepSeek is an AI model that was developed by a relatively small Chinese tech firm.
Okay.
And, its arrival has really disrupted the industry. One of the most immediate impacts, I think, was the massive hit to U.S. tech stocks.
Right.
NVIDIA, a major player in AI chips, they lost a staggering $600 billion in market value.
Oh, wow.
That's like 3 times the entire value of Reliance Industries, just to give you an idea of the scale.
Wow. Okay. That really puts things in perspective.
Yeah.
But what makes DeepSeek so disruptive?
Mm-hmm.
Are they using some groundbreaking technology that no one else has?
It's not necessarily about having superior technology.
Okay.
What's so remarkable about DeepSeek is its efficiency. They managed to develop this model for a fraction of the cost that U.S. companies typically spend.
Really?
Yeah, we're talking like $5.6 million.
Okay.
Compared to hundreds of millions.
That's like 100 times less.
It is, yeah.
How did they pull that off? I mean, did they have to sacrifice performance to achieve that kind of cost reduction?
Not at all.
Okay.
It actually outperforms models from giants like OpenAI and Meta in certain areas.
Really?
Yeah, and their secret really lies in their approach.
Okay.
They completely reimagined how AI models are built.
I'm all ears.
Yeah.
How did they rethink things?
Well, for starters, they simplified the calculations used in the model.
Okay.
So instead of using 32 decimal points for accuracy, which is kind of standard practice,
Right.
they opted for 8.
Okay.
Now, this might sound like a compromise,
Yeah.
but it actually makes the model much more efficient without sacrificing much in terms of accuracy.
So they kind of streamlined the math,
Right.
making it less resource intensive.
Exactly.
What else did they do differently?
Well, another key innovation is how they trained the AI.
Okay.
So instead of training it to read individual words, which is the typical approach,
Mm-hmm.
they taught it to read entire phrases.
Ah.
This allows the model to understand context and relationships between words much better, leading to more accurate results.
So it's like teaching the AI to read like a human.
Yeah.
Like understanding the nuances of language.
Exactly.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Did they do anything else to make it more efficient?
Yeah, they also significantly reduced the number of active parameters in the model.
Active parameters.
Yes, these are essentially the variables that the AI uses to make decisions.
Okay.
And by reducing the number of these parameters,
Right.
they made the model less complex and more efficient without sacrificing its performance.
So they basically found a way to do more with less.
Exactly.
This active parameters concept is interesting.
Yeah.
Can you explain it a bit more for those who might not be familiar with the technical side of AI?
Sure. Imagine you're trying to predict the weather.
Okay.
You might consider factors like temperature, humidity, wind speed.
Right.
These factors are kind of like the active parameters in an AI model.
Gotcha.
The more parameters you have, the more complex your calculations become, and the more computing power you need.
Okay.
DeepSeek figured out how to use fewer parameters effectively,
Right.
making their model leaner and faster.
That's a brilliant approach.
Yeah.
But if DeepSeek is so efficient and powerful, why is everyone so worried?
Well, there's another factor that has really sent ripples through the industry. DeepSeek is open source.
Open source. What does that mean?
Okay.
And why is that a game changer?
Well, open source means that the code behind DeepSeek is publicly available.
Okay.
Anyone can access it, modify it,
Wow.
and even use it to build their own AI applications.
Well,
Think of it like a recipe that's been shared with the world.
okay.
Anyone can take that recipe, tweak it,
Right.
and create their own unique dish.
That's a pretty radical move.
It is.
Most companies guard their AI models like precious secret.
Yeah, they do.
What's the thinking behind making DeepSeek open source?
It's a strategic move that has really shaken up the traditional model of AI development. By making DeepSeek open source, the creators are essentially encouraging collaboration and accelerating the pace of innovation.
I see.
Imagine a community of developers worldwide all contributing to and improving upon the same AI model.
Yeah.
It's like a global brain trust, all working together to push the boundaries of what's possible.
I see where this is going. This has the potential to democratize AI,
Right.
making it more accessible to developers and researchers who don't have the resources of tech giants like Google or Microsoft.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It could lead to an explosion of innovation in AI, with new applications and solutions emerging from unexpected places.
Okay, now I'm starting to understand why this is causing such a stir. A cheaper, more efficient, open source AI model that's also powerful.
Yeah,
That's a major disruption.
it is.
But the video you mentioned seems to be arguing that this is about much more than just AI.
Right.
What's the bigger picture here?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This DeepSeek emergence, I think, really highlights a larger trend that we're seeing, which is this intensifying competition between the US and China for technological dominance. And this rivalry, it goes way beyond just AI.
Right.
We're talking about, a whole range of different fields.
Yeah, it's like a new kind of arms race.
Yeah.
But instead of weapons, it's about who controls the future of technology.
Exactly.
And the video mentions a bunch of different areas where China seems to be pulling ahead,
Right.
like renewable energy,
Yeah.
electric vehicle production, space exploration,
Right.
even things like quantum computing and nuclear fusion research.
Yeah. All that stuff, they've been very strategically investing in these areas.
Right.
And it's really starting to pay off.
One example that really stuck out to me was China's dominance in solar energy.
Yeah.
I mean, they produce something like 80% of the world's solar cells,
It's an incredible number.
and at a much lower cost than the U.S.
Yeah.
How did they manage to achieve that?
It's really a combination of factors.
Okay.
I think they recognized the strategic importance of renewable energy early on, and they invested heavily in research and development.
Right.
They also implemented policies to encourage domestic production
Okay.
and kind of create a favorable environment for solar companies to thrive. And this has allowed them to kind of scale up production really rapidly and drive down costs.
So it's not just about throwing money at the problem.
Right.
It's about having a long-term vision
Yeah.
and a strategic approach.
Exactly.
The video also points out that China is miles ahead in electric vehicle production and sales.
Yes.
It just seems like they're anticipating the future and they're positioning themselves to lead in these emerging industries.
They certainly are. They identified electric vehicles as a key growth area.
Right.
And they've been aggressively pursuing policies to support their development and adoption.
Okay.
So this includes things like building charging infrastructure,
Okay.
providing subsidies for buyers,
Right.
and investing in battery technology research.
It seems like they're really committed to this idea of Made in China 2025.
Oh, absolutely.
This plan to become a global leader in high-tech manufacturing and innovation.
Yeah, Made in China 2025 is like a blueprint for their ambitions in the technological sphere. You know, they're not just aiming to be the world's factory.
Right.
They want to be the source of cutting-edge innovation. And they're backing that ambition with significant investments in research and development.
Okay.
In fact, their spending on R&D is rapidly approaching that of the U.S.
Wow. Which brings us to a question that's kind of been on my mind throughout this whole discussion.
Yeah.
Where does India fit into this global technology race?
Right.
The video paints a somewhat concerning picture.
Yeah, the video, I think, raises some valid concerns about India's position in this rapidly changing landscape.
Right.
It's arguing that India seems to be lagging behind,
Okay.
struggling to keep pace with these rapid advancements that are happening in the U.S. and China.
The video specifically highlights India's declining investment in education as a major roadblock.
Great.
It mentions that school enrollment has actually gone down
Yeah.
and that the government has been cutting funding for research and education.
Which is very worrying when you consider just how crucial education and innovation are.
Right.
In today's world, I mean, if India wants to be a major player in the technology arena,
Yeah.
it needs to prioritize investment in these areas.
And the video uses some pretty strong language,
Yeah.
almost accusing India of being complacent. and too focused on internal issues to compete effectively on a global scale.
It's a harsh critique.
Yeah.
But one that perhaps deserves some serious reflection.
Right.
DeepSeek's success, which was achieved with a fraction of the resources typically deployed by U.S. tech giants,
Right.
serves as a stark reminder that innovation can come from unexpected places. It's not just about having deep pockets.
Okay.
It's about smart thinking,
Right.
efficient execution,
Yeah.
and a willingness to challenge conventional approaches.
So it's a wake-up call, not just for India, but for anyone who thinks they can afford to sit on the sidelines in this rapidly evolving technological landscape.
Absolutely.
Well, what does all this mean for the average person?
Right.
I mean, most of us aren't developing AI models or launching satellites.
That's a great question. This isn't just a competition between countries. This is a transformation that will affect everyone.
Right.
This rapid pace of technological advancement is changing the world around us in really profound ways. And it's important to be aware of these changes and how they might impact our lives.
Yeah, I get that we need to stay informed, but it can all feel a bit overwhelming.
Yeah.
What are some concrete takeaways for people who want to prepare for this future where technology is constantly evolving?
One key takeaway, I think, is that education and critical thinking are more important than ever.
Okay.
You don't need to be a computer scientist to understand the basic principles of AI or the implications of these emerging technologies. It's about developing a framework for understanding how these technologies work, what their potential benefits and risks are, and how they might affect your industry, your job, even your everyday life.
So it's about developing a technology literacy that allows us to navigate this complex and ever-changing landscape.
Exactly. It's also about adaptability.
Okay. And a willingness to learn new things. The skills that are in demand today might be obsolete tomorrow.
Right.
So it's essential to be open to learning new skills and adapting to new ways of working.
This reminds me of something the video mentioned.
Yeah.
That DeepSeek's success wasn't just about technical innovation.
Right.
It was also about challenging the status quo and thinking differently.
That's a crucial point.
Yeah.
This era of rapid technological change requires a real shift in mindset. We need to be more comfortable with uncertainty, more willing to experiment and take risks, and more open to embracing new ideas and ways of doing things.
So DeepSeek's story isn't just about China's rise or America's potential decline. It's a wake-up call for all of us.
It is.
A reminder that we need to be active participants in shaping this technological future.
Precisely, the future is not something that just happens to us.
Right.
It's something we create through our choices, our actions.
And our willingness to embrace change.
That's a powerful thought and a great note to end on.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up, I'm curious to get your take on what the future holds for DeepSeek itself.
Okay.
Will this open source model truly democratize AI? Will it lead to a wave of innovation that benefits everyone?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? DeepSeek has certainly thrown a wrench into the traditional AI development model.
Yeah.
And it's too early to say definitively what the long-term impact will be.
It's exciting to think about the possibilities, though.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where anyone with a good idea and access to the internet can contribute to the advancement of AI.
It's a compelling vision.
Yeah.
And DeepSeek's open source nature could be a catalyst for that kind of democratization of AI.
But I also wonder if there are potential downsides to this approach. Could open sourcing such powerful technology create risks?
That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
There's always the possibility that open source technology could be misused.
Right.
So it's crucial to have, ethical guidelines and safety protocols in place to kind of mitigate those risks.
So it's not just about making AI accessible.
Right.
It's about ensuring that it's used responsibly and ethically.
Precisely. We need to be thinking about these issues now as AI becomes more powerful and more integrated into our lives.
Right. The video we discussed earlier seemed to suggest that DeepSeek's emergence might be a sign that the U.S. is losing its grip on technological leadership. Do you agree with that assessment?
I wouldn't say that the U.S. is losing its edge just yet.
Okay.
The U.S. still has a robust innovation ecosystem with, world-class universities, research institutions, and tech companies.
But DeepSeek has definitely shown that innovation can come from anywhere.
Right.
And that being a technological powerhouse requires more than just resources and infrastructure.
Absolutely. DeepSeek's success, I think, is a reminder that agility, adaptability, and a willingness to challenge conventional thinking are really crucial in today's rapidly evolving technological landscape.
So maybe this is a wake-up call for the U.S.
Yeah.
A reminder that it needs to stay nimble and adaptable to maintain its leadership position.
It could be seen that way. Competition, after all, is a powerful driver of innovation.
This whole DeepSeek situation has been a fascinating deep dive into the world of AI.
Yeah, it has.
And the forces that are shaping its future. Any final thoughts for our listeners before we wrap up?
I'd say that the key takeaway is this. The future of technology, and particularly AI, is not predetermined. It's something that we are actively shaping through our choices, our investments, and our willingness to embrace change. So stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged in the conversations about how we want to build this technological future.
Well said. That's all for this deep dive.
Great talking with you.
Keep those brains churning, and we'll see you next time.